please welcome Jim Parsons. Hey, man. How are you?
Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Thanks for having me on.
Happy to have you.
Thank you.
What a run, huh?
Wasn't it a run indeed, from there to here.
That's also a run, yes.
It's such a fun.
What do you make of the fervor of the show? I mean, you look genuinely surprised with the Emmy, but what do you make of the fervor around this?
I feel really, really lucky. I feel really... It all feels very right as much as it can, even though some things, like a weird... like when good ratings happen or when Emmys happen or something, that doesn't feel right or wrong. That just feels odd.
Yeah. Are you the kind of guy that can be in the moment?
I'd say I'm pretty good at being in the moment. You know, I have my anxieties though. You know, like I enjoy being here right now. What? I was not going for applause.
Yes.
I really wasn't.
He may also not have been literally in the chair.
That's right. But the reason I say that is because like I enjoy being here, but there is part of me that is of course very tense and anxious about doing things like this, you know?
You go through a run as an actor where you shoot pilots, or you audition for pilots, you don't get some of them, you get some, they don't go, and there's always this idea that, oh, when is it going to hit? Am I going to get my moment?
Right.
When you worked on this show, did you think you were going to get your moment?
When I saw the material for the audition, I didn't feel very judgmental about is this show good or bad, but I knew the character was something that I just felt, you know, because you do audition for so many things, because you do see so many characters that you're like, well, that sort of works. And this one I thought, I don't know if they'll think that I'm the one for it, but I think I should be in the final group they're looking at. So in that way, I really worked hard on it to make sure that I didn't let what I thought could be my moment, I guess, go out the door because of whatever reason. I tried to take as much control of it as I could. And then once I got it, and we did do the pilot and everything, then you are just sitting and waiting for the judgment of others. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean quite literally, do we want to put this on our network right now or not? And
how are you in that purgatory state?
I had easier days living on unemployment between jobs than I had on enough money to live on from doing the pilot and waiting, because you are in purgatory and you can't. Maybe you can sort of audition for a couple of things, but you're waiting, and so your wheels are spinning, and perhaps more importantly, they kind of slow down from spinning. You're like, what am I doing? And then thank God it got picked up, and they start turning.
Well, was it your mom that co-signed a loan for you that said you better get a big movie, Jim? Is that what she said to you?
Yes, when I went to I don't know where you researched that, but that's good. When I went to grad school, I really wanted to go, and they were signing. And the irony was, I went to a grad school that was a scholarship program, so it was living loans. You know, I had friends going to other schools that cost much more, and but these were still hefty enough loans that she said, "Well, we think that yes, this is a good idea for you, but Jim, you're really going to have to get a big movie after this is over." And I've always thought, A, she's ridiculous, but B, that I've always thought that was a very funny subconscious voice that was in my head, and I thought, I don't know the effect it had on me subconsciously to have a mother who said things that could be looked at so ridiculous like that, but was there part of me that goes, she's right, damn, I got to get a big movie? And I still haven't gotten the big movie. I got the TV show, which managed to pay off the loan, so I hope she's happy for now.
So you're saying the Garden State performance didn't pay off the loan?
Oh, heavens. I don't think that paid for rent in New York. It really didn't. That's what those movies are wonderful about. It's like the best experiences in the world, and give me my 400 or whatever it was. I don't know. I don't remember.
But what's so interesting about, especially a film career can be built over time. Like, you can watch a slow burn, but a sitcom hitting, man, that just happens.
It either happens or it doesn't.
Right.
You're absolutely right.
And it hit for you, and I wondered how you were with the adjustment of all of a sudden being the guy that is looked at and talked about in that way.
Well, the thing that keeps things as easy as they can is the work, you know, and maybe I would feel this way no matter what the context of the part or the script, but, you know, there's something about the top science at hand of our show, you know, the topic at hand, and the things we have to learn, the things we have to say, and not that you have to understand it to present it. I couldn't. My mind doesn't work that way. But
You're saying that you don't know what you're talking about when you say
I'm very much saying that I'm saying that I know what I'm talking about enough to pass it off as an actor who pretends to know what he's talking about. But I do think sometimes that because of the subject matter, it takes so much effort sometimes to just keep working on it. It does keep some of the more fairy tale aspects at bay enough to keep you, I don't know if grounded is the right word, but sane.
I find interesting about the sitcom is that, about Big Bang Theory, is that you're in a rare position in scripted television in America where they're celebrating smart people. Yeah. You know, the most famous people in the country are the Jersey Shore cast, and they're never going to be confused with someone who read a book. And I don't say that in a bad way. That just is a thing, right? Yeah. And I just wonder if in a sense you guys feel
that's the situation.
That's the situation right over here, buddy. Right there. But it's the idea that you talk about the subject matter, you get to be smart on television.
Yeah. Well, when we first started doing it, and I understand this because there is an aspect of it, it's a couple of nerds and this pretty girl. And Chuck Lorre, Bill Prady, the co-creators of our show, were very much when they talked to the press. When they talked to us about talking to the press, it was like, we're really trying to highlight the beautiful mind aspect here. We're really trying to celebrate this genius aspect here. And that has seeped through to a deeper and deeper level the longer we've gotten to do this show, in that way of trying to respect and trying to celebrate not only the genius aspect of these characters, but the odd quirks that causes in these characters. And there's a lot of fun to be had in looking through that, but not poking too much fun. It's much more in the celebratory sense. You know, I think getting to play Sheldon has been such a good experience because he's probably the oddest person I've ever played in anything. I mean, you know, I've never met anybody like him. I don't know if somebody like him actually exists through and through.
Well, they do. They just don't leave the house.
Well, there you go.
See, and that's the trick.
Certainly don't get on TV. You know, but like I say, I really feel like it's so much in a joyous way. So I feel that way about getting the chance to play. I love getting to play somebody who doesn't know the right things to say to somebody or care, you know. Maybe that's the most freeing thing in the world. Well,
he crosses the line all the time, but doesn't know there's a line to cross.
Therefore, it's okay, as a viewer, I think, to watch it, because he wasn't trying to be mean.
Any crossover in your real life? Have you ever had moments where you go, I totally had a Sheldon moment?
My big ones are more not getting sarcasm. And not in the same way Sheldon doesn't, where he's just completely tone deaf to the human voice sometimes. But mine is, I can be very literal, and I'd like to say trusting, which is taken advantage of. People will be kidding, and I just won't get it. I'll be like, no. And they're like, no, not at all. I was kidding. Oh, okay. And that's a Sheldon moment for me.
Well, stick around. We'll find out some more stuff about Jim, but also find out what offends him the most. We'll do some rapid-fire questions. Anthropology. Back here, we've got Jim Parsons. You ready for anthropology? Rapid fire questions?
I'm anxiously thrilled.
Anxiously thrilled.
Yep.
More anxious? More thrilled?
It's rapid fire. It's anxious.
Okay. What was your favorite television show growing up?
It was Three's Company.
Mr. Furley or Mr. Roper?
Oh, Mr. Furley. Mr. Furley.
Charlie Rose doesn't ask those kind of questions.
No, he certainly doesn't, or accept those types of answers.
Mr. Furley, you said?
Yes. He reminded me of my grandma. And he still does a little bit. Yeah.
What offends you the most?
This is really off, I guess it's rapid fire. Off the top of my head, though, and just thinking right now, dishonesty in probably anything. No, not in anything, in acting. I can handle some dishonesty in life because I think sometimes it's necessary for one reason or another. Dishonesty in acting. Or, oh, I sound so pompous. Oh, my God.
Have you ever been dishonest when you've acted?
Probably. And I've offended myself deeply. But seriously, I mean, if I'm overly confused, I try not to be. I would rather try and be confused with you in this moment than lie through it. But so I'd like to think no, but I bet I've failed a couple of times. Failed.
What's the first age-inappropriate movie you ever saw where you knew you were doing a bad thing?
That's impossible for me. I mean, I certainly watch plenty of dirtier stuff with my friend Tim when he would spend the night and we were up late on HBO or whatever. But now I look at it, that probably wasn't dirty at all. There was probably a bare butt at some point, and we were like, you know.
You never snuck into a restricted movie or any of that in Texas?
No, no, I didn't. We did sneak into movies, but it was just to not pay. I saw Ferris Bueller's Day Off for free, which I find very fitting the older I got. We snuck into that, and it was like, that was the right one to steal this movie.
What was your favorite memory of childhood?
I don't know if it's my favorite, but I have this odd memory of being on, of going shopping for wallpaper with my mother just on some warm summer day. It's so random.
No, but that's neat.
Okay.
But what was it? Was it about sharing the moment with your mother? Was she particularly into it? What was it about that day?
I think that I always took great comfort in her homemaking. She worked too, but she was still is very good homemaker, and I think I still do. I think take great comfort in the consistency and care of taking care of the home in that way. I'm not very good at it, but it does make me feel, you know. Somebody once I heard say, it was easiest for me to fall asleep when I was upstairs in my bedroom and I could hear my mother vacuuming downstairs, and that makes a lot of sense to me.
I mean, you're not that far away from San Diego. I mean, you're far from Texas in Los Angeles, but do you ever feel disconnected from that guy who could go to sleep at night, that same idea?
Off and on. I do feel disconnected enough to have to visually recapture it. You know, I will sometimes, when the mind is racing, go back to something like that and take care of my own house as much as I'm willing to, you know.
If you don't know the show, which I'm sure you know by now, it's called Big Bang Theory. It's a real pleasure to meet you.
It's wonderful to meet you, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jim Parsons, everybody.
Thank all of you.
JohnBo.com is the website. Thanks for watching. See you next time.